Hello everyone, welcome to Darshana YouTube channel. Here we are going to present paper 1 discussion of JEE Advanced. Hope so you all are well and you have performed quite well in your exam of JEE Advanced. This session is useful for all guys students who are serious about JEE Advanced 2022 and 2023, and also those who have appeared and they want to analyze their performance, they can analyze. And here we will discuss physics paper 1. Paper 1 was simpler as compared to, easier as compared to paper 2, okay. But one thing you may feel that if you will analyze paper of last 5 years, like from 16 to 2020 and then paper of 2021, so it was little bit easier than last 5 exams, okay. So we can analyze by solving, and weightage was almost similar whatever it was for last 5 years. So let's begin our discussion, okay. So there were 4 sessions in paper 1 and total marks was 60, okay. So one by one we will discuss, and section wise and marks wise also I will describe questions of section 1. In section 1, you can see here there were 4 questions and marks was +3, 0 for no response and then -1. So negative marking was there 1/3, and there were 4 questions and single correct type. It was MCQ of single correct type. So let's begin our first question discussion, okay. So this is our first question, very fundamental question based on vernier caliper, and everyone knows this, and this concept required is what? Zero error, okay. It may be positive or negative, or you can use by common sense also, okay. In IIT, your presence of mind is very important. So let's see. So it is given when there is nothing. Okay, first of all, a smallest division on main scale is 0.1 centimeter. So one main scale division is 0.1 centimeter. Then you can read next line. It is given 10 division on vernier scale is equal to what? 9 division on main scale. So it is a very common type. So what will be least count? 0.01 centimeter. Okay, least count will be what? 0.01 centimeter. What is least count? Main scale division minus length of one main scale division minus length of vernier scale division, okay, 0.01 centimeter. Then it is given when there is nothing between jaws, then this is the reading. Means still we are getting some reading. 0 of both main scale and vernier scale should match, but here it is not matching. Vernier scale 0 is what? Behind main scale 0, means there is some error, that is called 0 error, okay. And then second figure is what? Second figure is for reading. It is showing 3.1 and something vernier scale reading. So we have to find what will be reading. Simple, diameter, okay, diameter of a sphere. So what to do? First of all, our job is to find 0 error. Okay, so see, this is 0 of main scale and this is 0 of vernier scale. So this will be what? 0.1 reading of this point, then 0.2 and so on. And this side it will be what? Little bit here, minus 0.1. So what will be 0 error? Here I am writing itself, 0 error will be what? It is behind. So my main scale reading is minus 0.1 plus. You have to check whether it is matching. Which division of vernier scale is matching with main scale division? So let's count. Okay, so this is first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth is matching. Sixth division is matching with main scale. So what will be reading? Plus vernier scale reading is 6 into least count. Least count is 0.01. Okay, so what will be this? Minus 0.1 plus 0.06 will be what? minus 0.04 centimeter. So this is zero error. Okay, and it is negative. It is negative. And already by common sense also you can say that it is behind means what? We are getting some lesser value of reading. So what we will do? We can use common sense and you can write what? You have to add magnitude of zero error since it is negative zero error or behind that one. Okay. So what will be here? It is, we have to add this value. Okay, in final reading. So what is main scale reading? Finally. So diameter means reading. Final reading will be what? Main scale. This is 3 and this is 0.1, 3.1. So main scale reading is 3.1 centimeter. Then vernier scale reading. What is vernier scale reading? See matching. Here first of vernier scale, this one is matching. Matching with what? Main scale. So one division of vernier scale into least count 0.01 plus zero error Z, which is nothing but 0.04. Why I am adding 0.04? Because it is behind. Suppose if it was means what? On right side of 0 of main scale, then we have to subtract, because in that condition we will get extra value, extra reading. Okay. So here it will be what? 0.01 and 0.040. So reading will be 3.15 centimeter. So which option is matching? Third option. So C, option C is correct. Option C. Okay. So this was very basic question related to zero error in vernier caliper. So next. So this is also very simple question. You can analyze in this paper that if you will perform well by solving. So on means average level of questions are 40 to 50%. Okay, moderate level questions are 40 to 50%, and this question is very easy related to thermodynamics. This PV diagram is given and they are asking that in which process 1, 2, 3, 4 out of 4 processes, in which one or more than one there is a heat additions. Okay. So let's see. Process 1 to 2 is isobaric. 1 to 2 process 1 is isobaric, pressure constant. So temperature will be proportional to volume. Temperature will be proportional to volume, and in this process volume is increasing, so temperature will increase. Okay. So temperature will increase. But what about heat addition? So we know that heat addition at constant pressure, heat transfer at constant pressure is what? NCP delta T, and at constant volume it is NCB delta T. So here delta T is positive, means there is positive heat transfer, means heat addition. So here it is heat addition. Q is positive. Okay, Q is positive. Process 1. Process 2. Here it is what? Volume is constant, so temperature is proportional to what? Pressure, and pressure is decreasing. So delta T is negative. Delta T is negative, so heat transfer at constant volume is what? Negative. So there is a release of heat. Okay. So this option second is wrong. Second, there is heat rejection. Third process, again pressure is constant and what? Volume is decreasing, so temperature will decrease. So delta T is again negative. If delta T is negative, means what can you say? Delta T, again QV is what? NCV delta T. So there is heat rejection, delta Q is negative. So heat transfer at constant pressure is here negative. Then fourth process, this one, again it is constant volume process and pressure is increasing. So delta T will be positive. If delta T is positive means what? Q heat transfer at constant volume is positive. So in process 1 and 4, what? There is heat addition. So which option is correct? Third option. Option C is correct one, because there is heat addition in process 1 and 4. This question was also very, very simple. Okay. So next. This is our third question. So it is based on simple combination of lenses are there. There are two lenses, convex and concave, and we have to find total magnification. Object distance you can see is 10 centimeter, and separation of lenses is what? 10 centimeter. So what will be overall magnification? And radius of each surface of lenses is what? Radius of curvature is given 20 centimeter for both lenses. So what to do? First of all, we will find what? Focal length for both. Then we will find image, we will locate images for both separately. Then again we will find magnification for one, and then two, and then we will multiply for total magnification. Simple question, only little bit calculation is required. So first of all, we can find focal length. For first, let us suppose this is first and this is second lens. Okay, so for first we can write 1 by f. We know that 1 by f is what? Mu lens by mu surrounding, which is nothing but air in this case, minus 1 by R1 minus 1 by R2. Okay, so 1 by f1 will be what for first lens? Mu lens is given 1.5. So 1.5 divided by 1 minus 1. This is what? See, we are considering object is here, so rays will come from this side, left to right. So left side of lens we will take negative and right side positive. This will be our sign convention. Okay, common. So what to do? Are you getting, guys? So you can see R1 is positive and R2 for this face will be negative. So 1 by 20 minus 1 by minus 20. So this is 2 by 20 and this is 1 by 2. So F1 will be plus 20 centimeter. In the similar fashion, we can find focal length for second one. Okay. So 1 by F2 for second one. What will be this? 1.5 minus 1. 1 by R1. See, R1 left side. So it will be minus. So 1 by minus 20 minus 1 by plus 20. Why? Because on right side R2. Okay. So this will be negative. So F2 is minus 20 centimeter. Okay. So both having same magnitude, only plus minus sign. Already we know that convex plus 20 and concave minus 20. So what to do next? U is given. Okay. U1 is given. I am taking on next slide. So you can see here U1 is what? Minus 10. So for first U1 is minus 10 centimeter and F1 is what? Plus 20 centimeter. We have to find what? V1. So lens formula is what? 1 by V minus 1 by U is 1 by F. So from here you can directly write V is nothing but UF by U plus F. Okay. So V is this one, put value with sign, minus 10 into 20 divided by minus 10 plus 20. So what will be V? This is what? This is 10. So 10 will be cancelled out. So it is minus 20. So minus 20 centimeter is V. Let us take this as V1 and here V1, U1, F1. Okay. So this is V1. Okay. For second lens, we know that F2 is minus 20 centimeter. And what is V2? U2. Okay. Image location is what? For this lens here it will be somewhere here I1 I am denoting. So it is 20 from here means what? From here it is 10. So 10 plus 10 plus 10. So U2 is what? So U2 will be minus 30 centimeter. That's it. Clear? So U2 is minus 30 centimeter. So V2 will be U2 F2 means minus 30 into minus 20 divided by U2 plus F2 minus 30 plus minus 20. So this is 50 and this is 600. So 65 5 means 12. So it will be minus minus, so it will be minus 12 centimeter. Yes or no? So this is V2. Then we can find individual magnification. So here M1 magnification will be what? V1 by U1. So minus 20 divided by what? U1 is minus 10. So it is 2. M1 is 2. In the similar fashion we can also find what? M2. So M2 will be what? Simple hectic calculation, nothing else. V2 by U2. So minus 12 divided by 30. Minus 30. So this is nothing but what? 2 by 5. So M2 is 2 by 5. So total magnification will be what? Very simple, M1 into M2. So it is 2 into 2 by 5, 4 by 5 means what? 0.8. So this is our answer. So which option is correct? Option B. Option B will be the correct answer. Okay. So question number 4, it is again very simple question by common sense, no formula is required here. Okay. So see how first 4 questions were so simple. 4 into 3, 12 marks you can easily get. Okay, question number 4, it is given a heavy nucleus Q. Okay, let me change the color. So Q is a heavy nucleus, it is given, half life is given what? 20 minutes. Then it can undergoes alpha decay or beta decay, means it is confused. It may be alpha decays and it may be beta decays and their probability is given. For alpha it is 60%, for beta it is 40%. Okay. Then we have to find what? After 1 hour, what will be alpha decays? Number of alpha decays after first 1 hour. So very simple question. Okay. And here one more thing is given. Yeah, initial number of nuclei is 1000. Okay, so there are 2 decays possible here, alpha and beta. And what are their probabilities? So this is alpha is 60%, beta is 40%. Okay, and we have to find what will be percentage of alpha after t equals to 1 hour. Means what? 60 minutes. 60 minutes means what? 3 into 20 means 3 times of half life. Okay, so do it, very simple. See, this is 1000. So after 20 minutes, after first t, what will be number of active nuclei? Half of this 500. Then after again 20 minutes, what will be number of active nuclei? 250. Then again after 20 minutes, third half life. So 20 minutes, this will be how much? It is very simple, 125. So this is number of active nuclei and they are asking number of alpha decays. Okay, so this is number of active nuclei Okay. So number of decayed nuclei will be what? Means after one, or number of decayed nuclei, total, we are talking about total, will be what? It is what? Initial was 1000, final it is active is 125. So 1000 minus 125. So it is 875 is the number of active nuclei, number of decayed nuclei. Okay. So out of this much, 60% is alpha. Out of this much, 60% is alpha. So our answer will be what? Here I am writing. So number of alpha decayed will be 60% of this means 875 into 60 by 100. So it will be what? 60% of this much 525. Okay. So basic thing is there, no formula required. You know that in half-life, number of active nuclei will be half, again half, again half. So 3 times. So finally number of active is 125. So number of decayed will be what? 1000 minus 125. Then you have to take what? 60%. A child can solve this question if he knows that in half-life number of nuclei is 50%. Okay. So fourth option. So this was all about section 1. So let's discuss about section 2. In section 2, it is like a statement type. One sentence is given and in which there are 2 questions. Okay, 2 parts are there, each of having marks 2 plus 2, and it is numerical value type. You have to give answer up to 2 decimal places and there is no negative marking, 0 marks or either plus 2 marks. Okay. So it was also very simple. One statement is given and you have to give answer of 2 parts means. Okay. So there were total 3 stems and total questions are 6, 2 each. So let's solve. This is our first stems. It is given a projectile is thrown from a point O on the ground and angle of projection is 45 degree. Initial velocity is given 5 root 2 meter per second. Okay, so theta is given 45 degree. Then u is given 5 root 2 meter per second. At the highest point means at h max. Okay, this splits into 2 equal parts means at h. Okay, so m, it splits into 2 parts, m by 2 then m by 2 at h max. Okay, and one particle fall vertically downward at the same point means one particle falls vertically downward in 0.5 second, exactly vertically down to the ground in 0.5 second. Then we have to find second particle will reach on the ground at time t. Then we have to find time t and location of second particle. Again here you have to apply what? Momentum conservation and also little bit logic how to find second time for second particle. Okay, and what about momentum in y direction and x direction before splitting and after splitting? Okay, so let's see. On the next page we can solve. So the situation is like this. This is ground. We are projecting a particle with 5 root 2 meter per second. So if it was single particle, this will be path of the particle. Okay, figure is, we can redraw once again this part. Okay. But what happened in between? You can see this angle is 45 degree. So we can take two component, ux is 5 cos 5 root 2 cos 45 is 5, and this one uy is 5 meter per second, 5 meter per second. At the topmost point, h max, this point, let us suppose initially it was m, so it has been splitted into two parts, m by 2 each. I am writing here m by 2. One particle is falling directly here at this point, okay, and here time for first is, let us suppose this is first, this is second, here given it is 0.5 second. Then we have to find about second particle. So what to do? See, for x direction we are sure there is no force in x direction, and for what, explosion or a splitting into two parts, momentum will always be conserved. So in x direction, before collision and after collision, momentum will be conserved, and what, motion of center of mass will be what, a projectile, same projectile. So center of mass will perform, this is path for center of mass, it will continue same projectile. So if first particle is here, second particle will be at the same distance right of this path, right of this point. So second particle will be what, here at the same distance. So this is r by 2, this is r by 2, so this will be what, r by 2. So second particle will reach at this point. So x is very clear, we can say location of this particle, x is what, at this point x will be 3 times of r by 2. So one part is clear, but how to find time? So one important point is what, we will analyze the motion in y direction. Here it is not given anything. This particle may have upward velocity after splitting, or it may be downward velocity, or it may be zero velocity. So what to do? Time is only given. How do you analyze? There are three situations possible. First particle may move initially upward direction, it may move in downward, means it will have some velocity in downward, or zero velocity. So time is given. Let us suppose initially it is free falling. If we will get same time, means 0.5 second, means our assumption will be correct. If it is getting more time or less time, then we can analyze the situation. So let us consider for first particle, let free falling, after splitting there is no velocity in y direction we are considering here. So what will be this, h max will be half gt square, half g t1 square, or t1, let us suppose this is t1 because t is the here time for this one, okay. So here h max is what, uy square by 2g, means 5 square by 2 into 10, uy square by 2g, this is half into g is 10, okay, and t1 square, we have to find this time and verify whether it is correct or not. So this is 25, so it will be how much, 5, so 5, 2, so it is 1 by 4, so t1 square is 1 by 4, means t1 is 1 by 2, means 0.5 second, 0.5 second, means what, our assumption that it is free falling is correct, means particle 1 has no velocity in y direction after splitting. So in y direction momentum will be conserved at maximum height, it has what, vy0, and this has also vy1 is 0. So what, if you will apply momentum conservation, vy for 2 will also be 0, okay. So only velocity for second particle is in x direction, and you can find that velocity by momentum conservation in x direction, but here it is not required. So why we should waste time? So simply what to do? It will take same time because time will depends on vy is 0, so h is half gt square, y direction displacement of second particle is also h max, so same time it will take. So t will be what, simply 0.5 second. Okay, so time is 0.5 second, and then location of this particle second will be what? X is 3r by 2. So x is 3 by 2 r. Range is what? 2 times of ux uy by g. Same formula, u square sin 2 theta by g. I am writing in different, means only by in a split form. Okay, so it is nothing but 3 by 2, ux is 5, uy is 5, and g is 10. So 10 will be cancelled out. 15 by 2 is what? X will be 7.5 meter. So what are the answer? Or 0.5 second and 7.5 meter. Okay, so on previous slide we can write here answer value of t is same as first particle 0.5, x is 7.5. Okay, hope so you understand. So next steps. So this is for question number 7 and 8. This figure is given one capacitor, 2 resistors and 2 batteries are given. It is given in the question that when switch S is connected to point P, what will be maximum charge on this capacitor? And in second situation, if it is Q1, then we have to find value of Q1 in question number 7. And what? Second situation, when S is connected to Q, so no role of this part, then what will be maximum charge on this capacitor? And if it is Q2, then value of Q2 in microfarad. Simple, microcoulomb, sorry, charge in microcoulomb. Okay, so let's draw separate figure for both conditions. And we know that maximum charge stored will be at steady state. Steady state means what? At t equals to infinite. When capacitor is fully charged, we have to find charge on both plate, means Q1 in first case, Q2 in the second case. Okay, so first figure, you can see the question. I am looking in paper for the question figure. So first condition, this is first resistor, second one, one battery is here. Then we will consider point P. So this is point P, another battery is there. Is it visible? 1 volt. This is 1 ohm. This is 2 ohm. And capacitor is between this part. Why I am not showing capacitor? There will be no current through capacitor because it is fully charged in a steady state. So in this part there will be zero current. So simple circuit is what? This is 2 volt. First case, when it is connected to S is connected to P. Okay, then what to do? We have to find current. Let us suppose current flowing is I. Okay, this is 0. So this will be 0. This is 0. This point let us suppose is A. Okay. So both battery are connected in opposite polarity. So net effect will be their difference. Okay. So difference. So current will be what? I, same current will flow from both resistor. There is no current through capacitor. Here capacitor was of capacity 1 microfarad. So what will be current I? I will be 2 minus 1, opposite polarity, divided by R1 plus R2, 2 plus 1. So it is 1 by 3 ampere. Okay. Then we can find potential of A, and potential of this point is what? 0. Let us suppose this point is B. So if we know potential difference VAB, we can easily find what? Total charge, which is C into VAB. Okay. So this is 2 volt. So here it will be 2 volt because we are considering this as a reference 0. So we can write this is plus, this is minus. Higher to lower means 2 minus VA will be what? IR, means I is 1 by 3 and R is 2. So 2 by 3. So from here what is VA? VA will be 2 minus 2 by 3, means 4 by 3. Okay, so VAB will be what? This is 0, so VAB is 4/3 volt. So what is Q1? In this scenario, Q1 will be what? C, capacitance into VAB, potential difference. So C is 1 microfarad and this is 4/3 volt. So this is 4/3 microcoulomb. So Q1 value will be, can you tell me, 4/3 is what? 1.33 microcoulomb. So first answer is 1.33. So this magnitude of Q1 is what? 1.33. So what about magnitude of Q2? Same story we will repeat here. When this point S, switch S is connected to what? Q. So there is no role of what? Left side battery. There is no role of this battery when S is connected to Q. Okay. So again we will redraw figure. This is 2 volt. Here nothing. And capacitor is again fully charged condition. Steady state means what? There is no current from this part. I is 0 here. And here let us suppose I dash. This is 2 ohm. This is 1 ohm. So what will be I? Same current I dash will flow here. Okay, if this is our reference 0, 0, 0, this is point A and B as it is. So what will be I dash? I dash is what? V, 2 volt by 2 plus 1. 2/3 is the current. Okay, then again this is 2 volt, so here 2 volt this point and this is VA. So we can find VA. How? 2 minus VA is, I is 2/3 into resistor 2, so 4/3. So VA will be what? 2 minus 4/3 is 2/3 volt. So as it will be what? VAB. So Q2 is what? Can you tell me? C into VAB. So C is 1 microfarad, VAB is 2/3, so 2/3 microcoulomb. So Q2 is what? 2/3 means 0.666 means what? Rounding up to 2 decimal 0.67 microcoulomb. So what will be second answer? Answer for question number 10 is, okay, question number 8, Q2 is 0.67. Hope so you understand. So let's move to last part of this section. Okay, question number 9 and 10. Okay, again this is very simple question. It is given one charge is at origin minus Q and this charge Q by root 3 is at this point and coordinate is given 2 and 0. Okay, yes, and there is a circle which is equipotential and potential of this circle is what? 0. So we have to find radius of this circle, equipotential circle, and then we have to find center of this circle. Okay, and if center is B0, then we have to find value of B here and radius. So what to do? Simple concept is there. See, let us take center here, center of this circle B0. So at any point on the surface here, P point, coordinate is x, y. Okay, so we will find potential at P. This distance will be what? A square root of x square plus y square. And potential due to this charge at point P will be what? First of all, we need to find this distance. Okay, so this distance I am writing here, it will be what? X minus 2 whole square plus y square. Is it clear? So simple. Potential is what? KQ by R. So potential at P is what? Potential due to this charge, let us suppose V1 plus due to this charge V2, and which is nothing but 0. So V1 is minus of kq by square root of this one plus potential due to this charge q by root 3 is what? K q by root 3 divided by this one. Okay, and that will be equal to 0. So take on separate side both and square it. So you will get what? K cube will be cancelled out. It will be 1 by x square plus y square equals to 1 by 3 times of, expand this, x square minus 4x plus 4 plus y square. So simple. This is 3x square minus x square. I am writing directly 2x square plus 3y square minus y square, 2y square minus 12x plus 12 equals to 0. So take 2 common. It will be what? X square plus y square minus 6x plus 6 is 0. So compare this with a standard equation of circle. Simply, what is the standard equation? X square plus y square plus 2gx 2gx plus 2fy plus c equals to 0. Okay. So what is the value of x here? Sorry, value of g. 2g is minus 6, so g is what? Minus 3. And then what is the radius? F will be what? F is 0. So center of this circle is what? This equation. Center is what? Minus g minus f, and radius I am writing here. Radius is square root of g square plus f square minus c. So c is what? 6. Okay. So center is minus g means 3, 0, and this is nothing but b, 0. So b is 3. And then this one is what? G square means 3 square, f is 0 and c is 6. So it is root 3. So root 3 is what? 1.73. So what is our answer? Okay. For radius, radius is root 3 means what? 1.73. So this is 1.73. And value of b is what? 3. It was also a very simple question. Okay. So next, section 3. Section 3, there were 6 questions and more than one type, and you know the marking pattern: plus 4, plus 3, plus 2, plus 1, 0 and minus 2. 50% negative marking. If you will mark it like 2 options are correct and you marked one partial, then you will get partial marks. But any wrong attempt will give you minus 2 marks. Okay. So let's begin. So this is important part, and this is really highly conceptual questions are there in this part. Okay. So yes, first question is from rotation, and it is related to pure rolling. It is given this is a cylinder. It may be solid or hollow, and they are making options based on hollow and solid, and we have to select correct option. So you can read the question carefully. Okay, question is given. This is horizontal force F and center of mass of cylinder having object of mass m and radius r. Mass of this cylinder is m, radius is r. It may be solid, hollow depending on a statement. Okay, and F force is applied at the center. Coefficient of friction is here mu between this cylinder and this horizontal surface. Then next is what? Center of mass of object. Acceleration of center of mass is given a, and acceleration due to gravity is g. Then we have to verify options. Okay, first option is for the same F. The value of A does not depend on whether the cylinder is solid or hollow. So let us check. They are telling that A will be fixed for the value of F whether it is solid or hollow. Okay, and it is also given in the question that without slipping, object rolls without slipping means pure rolling condition. So friction will be what? Static friction. In pure rolling, friction is always static, and maximum value of friction is mu mg. So F will be less than or equals to mu mg, static friction. So from there, okay, first concept, then what to do? We can write equation, torque equation, and net force is mass into acceleration. So F is what? What will be friction direction? It is under pure rolling, force is applied on at the center. So torque will be due to what? Friction force. Here friction force will be in this direction, F, and due to torque of friction, it will perform pure rolling. Okay, so simple, net force is mass into acceleration means first equation, F minus F is mass into acceleration. Second, torque equation, F into R is what? I alpha. It is pure rolling. Under pure rolling means what? A is nothing but R alpha. So alpha is A by R. So I A by R is the second equation. So from these two equations, can we find value of acceleration? So F minus friction force is what? From here, I by this R will come here, I by R square, I by R square, A is MA. So from here, A will be what? Take common, A M plus I by R square is force F. Clear? So acceleration will be what? F by M plus I by R square. This is the acceleration, and they are asking that whether it is solid or hollow, it will be same. No, it depends on I. And for hollow, what is value of I? I hollow is what? M R square, and solid is I solid is M R square by 2. So first option is wrong. Second, for solid cylinder, the maximum possible value of A is 2 mu g. 2 mu g. So let us check for second option, maximum value of acceleration. So Fr is what? Second option we are checking. It is solid. So Fr is I alpha. Fr is I is what? Okay, I am writing I alpha. So I solid, alpha is A by R. So F as it is R, I is what? M R square by 2. Clear? M R square by 2 into A by R. So from here, what will be value of A? R square and R will be cancelled out. So it is 2F by M. This is the value of A. But we are interested in A max. So A max will be what? 2 times of F max, maximum value of static friction by M. So this is what? Mu mg. So 2 times of mu mg by M. So A max for solid cylinder is what? 2 times of mu g. 2 times of mu g. So let's check option B. I think it is correct. Yeah, 2 times of mu g. So second option is correct. Third option, the magnitude of frictional force on the object due to ground is always mu mg. No, it is maximum value, and static friction will lie between what? Maximum, 0 to maximum. So this option is automatically wrong. Then for a thin walled hollow cylinder, what is the value of acceleration? So thin walled hollow cylinder. So here we will put for hollow. Fourth option we are checking here. So I is what? Fourth option, hollow. M R square. So A will be what? F by M plus I by R square is M. So f by 2m. Yeah, it is correct. So fourth is correct. So correct answer is B and D. B and D, A and C are wrong. Okay. So next. Okay, this is again average question. Okay, there are two layers given, different material having different media, N1 and N2 are refractive indices for medium 1 and 2, and outside is air. One ray is coming from this N1 and it will move in another region N2, or it may be air. And in the question it is given sin theta is greater slightly larger than 1 by N1, means sin theta is slightly larger than 1 by N1. So we have to verify all these options. It is always advisable in exam in multiple correct type that you should at least go through the all options before solving the question, because here you will get the idea that what we have to do, what they are asking. From the question it won't be clear. So options are important. Okay, are you getting? समझ आ रहा है? So let's see here. So this is N1. Clear? So light rays enters air if N2 equals to N1. So let us check whether it will enter in this region or no. So I am taking here separately. You can read the question. Okay, this is N1 region, N2, and this is air. This angle is theta. Okay, and let us suppose this angle is R dash and this is R. This angle is R dash and this is R. Clear? So we can apply what? Ni sin I initial equals to Nf sin R final, or any between also we can apply here or here and here or in between. No problem, because it will be cancelled out. You will get finally this one. So Ni is what? N1. Sin I is what? Sin theta. Nf is 1 here into sin R. So sin R will be what? Sin R equals to N1 sin theta, and sin theta, this one is greater than 1 by N1. That means what? Sin R will be greater than 1, which is not possible. Sin value can't be greater than 1. So read the first option. The light ray enters air if N2 equals to N1. Not possible. It will never enter in that region. Okay, sin R value is unrealistic. Sin theta can't be greater than, sin R can't be greater than 1. Okay, so unrealistic. So this option is wrong. Then next is the light ray is finally reflected back into the medium N1, if N2 less than N1. If N2 less than N1. So let us check. Reflected back in N1. Yeah, reflected back in N1 if N2 less than N1. So second option is about N2 less than N1. So what to do? N2 less than N1 means this is rarer medium, this is denser medium. Okay. If it is less than, theta is less than critical angle, it will be refracted here, and then there will be reflection from this surface, and then again there will be refraction. Here reflection, then refraction. Okay, this angle R dash, so this will also be R dash, and here it will be something else. Clear? So they are asking that N2 greater than N1 or less than? Less than, sorry. N2 less than N1. So N1 is denser medium, this is denser, this is rare. So if there is refraction from rarer to denser, it will be refraction. There is no chance of total internal reflection. Okay, TIR is only for what? Denser to rarer, away from normal. So of course this will be back in medium 1. So option B is correct. Third option, the light ray is finally reflected back into the medium N1 when N1 is less than N2, means N2 is greater than N1. So second C option is what? N2 is greater than N1. If N2 is greater than N1 means what? Value of R dash will decrease. It will be closer to N2 is more means rarer to denser. So R dash will decrease, and if R dash will decrease what? So here also angle of incidence will be lesser than critical angle. So there is no chance of TIR, total internal reflection. So surely this ray will be back in medium 1. There is no chance of TIR, because though it is denser to rarer, but still R dash is decreasing due to here refraction. So of course this R dash will also decrease, means there is a chance of no chance of TIR. So option C is also correct. Then the light ray is reflected back into the medium of refractive index N1 if N2 is 1. Yeah, it is correct. What they are asking, that if N2 is also air, then what will happen? Same situation, it will be what? Total internal reflection. So it will be reflected back. So option 4 is also correct. Okay. Simple logical question, no need of any calculation. Okay. So next. Okay, question number 13. Again, languages, too much languages are given, but actually it is a very simple question. You can see, simply you have to find torque and angular momentum. You can read the question. Okay. See, a particle of mass. Okay, you can read the question. I will explain. Initial location of particle is minus L minus H, means minus 10 minus 1, and they are asking, options are given, x equals to L, y is minus h, means y is not changing. Here also x is L, y is minus h, same and same. So this limit, this is giving idea of what we have to find. So at these locations we have to find torque, here torque, then here angular momentum, and then time to arrive at this location. Okay. So let's solve this one, question number 13. I am drawing figure. Let us suppose this is x axis and this is y axis. Why I am taking y in downward direction? Because initially particle is, let us suppose, minus L minus h. Okay. This is the initial location A. Let us suppose this is final location and this is intermediate stage. So these 3 points we have to think about. This is minus 10, x coordinate minus 1. Means what? Minus L minus h. Here. Minus L minus h. This is what? 10. And y is still minus 1. Means minus L, sorry, plus L minus h location. Then this is what? X is 0, y is again minus h. So 0 minus 1 means 0 minus h condition. Okay. So this is the initial point. They are asking, okay, you can read the question also. Acceleration is in x direction and magnitude is 10 meter per second square and constant acceleration. Okay. So in x direction, so acceleration is 10 meter per second square. Okay. So we have to find what will be time taken. Time taken. So A to B distance is what? 10 plus 10. 10 plus 10. So total distance is 20 is what? Half A t square. Option first, we are looking for option first here. So from here A is 10. So 5, so 4, put the value half into 10 into t square. So t will be 2 seconds. T is 2 seconds. Okay. So check option. There the particle arrives at point xl minus h at t equals to 2 seconds means this option is correct. Next is torque. Torque at point B we have to find, and then torque at point what? C means below origin. So yeah, this is C point. So we have to find torque. This is option B. This is option D. So torque will be what? R cross F. Torque is R cross F. Option B. Torque is R cross F. Okay. So here force will be what? Mass into acceleration. Same force is acceleration is going. So force is mass into acceleration. Mass is given 0.2 kg. Let us check mass. Yeah. Mass is 0.2 kg. So 0.2 into 10. So 2 Newton is the force, and this is the direction of force. So we can write what? R perpendicular means perpendicular distance of force and this point. R perpendicular, this is what? 1 meter. Minus 1, this is 1 meter. So R perpendicular and F, line of action of force is this one. So R perpendicular F means what? Torque will be 1 into 2, and direction will be what? R cross F. R cross F outward. So K cap. So it is K cap. So torque at this point is 2 K cap. 2 K cap. You can check the answer. Yeah, it is correct. 2 K cap. Then we will solve for D also. Torque at point C we have to find. So torque at C, option D, we are discussing about option D. So same force is acting and R perpendicular is same. So torque will be same. Torque will be same. So at point C torque will be same 2 K cap. But in the option it is given what? K cap. So it is wrong. Let us check about this one, this value. Angular momentum at point B. So angular momentum at point B, option C we are discussing. So angular momentum is what? M R cross V. So first of all we will find V, velocity. What will be velocity here? So V is what? At B, V is U plus AT. U is 0. At this point U is 0 and time is 2 seconds. So AT is what? 10 into T, 2. 20 meter per second is the velocity at this point, and it will be towards positive x direction. Okay. And R perpendicular, same thing. R cross V means R perpendicular V, and direction will be what? This is R vector. So R cross V outward K cap. So simply we will first write magnitude 0.2, R perpendicular is 1, V is 20, okay, and direction will be K cap. So angular momentum is 4 K cap. So you can check here, yeah, it is 4 K cap. Means option A, B and C are correct, D is the wrong answer. D is the wrong answer, okay. Clear? So this was question number 13. Next. This was simplest question. Not simplest, simple. Okay, this is again average question is there. It is given which of the following statement is or are correct about hydrogen spectrum. Okay, the ratio of the longest wavelength to shortest wavelength in Balmer series is 9/5. So let us check. Option A, Balmer series. Okay. So Lyman-Balmer series, n is what? 2 to infinity. So longest and shortest wavelength. First of all, longest. So longest wavelength means what? Minimum energy. Wavelength corresponding to minimum energy. Then wavelength will be longest. Okay. So wavelength, so minimum energy, it is corresponding to minimum energy means n is what? 1 to 2. So 1 by lambda is r z square. So lambda longest 1 square 1 by n1 square minus 1 by n2 square. Always put n1 as a smaller and n2 as larger, then it will be positive. So 1 square minus 1 by 2 square. Sorry, 2 to infinity. Here I did mistake. Sorry, it is 2 to 3. So energy will be minimum corresponding to 2 to 3. Okay. This is 2 to 3 transition. Okay, so this is 2 to 3 minimum energy. So sort 2 square by 3 square. So 9 minus 4 is 5 by 36. So 1 by lambda longest is 5r by 36. This is our first equation. Second is what? Shortest wavelength. So shortest wavelength means what? Maximum energy. Maximum energy is corresponding to 2 to infinity. So 1 by lambda shortest is r 1 square 1 by 2 square minus 1 by infinity. So this is simply r by 4. This is second equation. So we want ratio of longest by shortest. So divide 2 by 1. Divide 2 by 1. So longest by shortest 2 by 1. So it will be in downward, means denominator. So lambda L by lambda S will be what? R by 4 divided by 5r by 36. So this is what? 9 by 5. So let us check option. Yeah, 9 by 5. So this option is correct. Then next option is option B. There is an overlap between the wavelengths of Balmer series and Paschen series. No, there is no overlap is there. Okay, in Lyman, Balmer and Paschen series there is no overlap. But in infrared region, Paschen bracket and Pfund, there is overlapping. In NCRT also you can see this figure of spectrum of wavelength. Okay, hydrogen spectrum wavelength figure is given. You can see there is no overlap in this three. So this option is wrong. And you can read this option D also. The wavelength ranges of Lyman and Balmer series do not overlap. Yeah, then it will be correct. Here it is given do not. So mind it. And here it is given overlap. So this one is wrong. So this will be correct. Then option C. The wavelength of Lyman series is this one, lambda naught, where lambda naught is what? Shortest wavelength. Shortest means what? Corresponding to maximum energy. So option C I am solving here. First of all, shortest wavelength means 1 by lambda naught is what? Corresponding to maximum energy is 1 by, it's a Lyman series means 1 by 1 square minus what? 1 by infinity. So this is simply r. 1 by lambda naught is r. First equation. Then in general from n to 1 to n. So for 1 to n, 1 by lambda general point r 1 square minus 1 by n square, and r is what? 1 by lambda naught. So this is 1 by lambda naught n square minus 1 by n square. So lambda will be what? Lambda will be, just see, lambda will be lambda naught n square divided by n square minus 1. No, you can't get this where m is integer, you can't get the same value. So this option is wrong. So option A and D are correct. A and D are correct. Okay, next question number 15. Okay, we have 4 more questions, 15 to 19. 5 more questions, 15, 16, yeah. So you can see this is based on motional EMF. Motional EMF. Okay, there is a circular, semicircular wire is there. It is moving on to conducting rod, and there is a resistor and capacitor. Means it is equivalent to what? There is a battery, motional EMF you can consider as a battery, and this is RC circuit. This is wire, due to wire there will be magnetic field mu naught I by 2 pi d. Put your thumb here, mu naught I by 2 pi d, and due to this what? There is motional EMF V cross B dot L, VBL, and you can consider motional EMF as a battery, then it will be completely RC circuit. And they are asking value of maximum current and maximum charge on capacitor. So maximum current will be corresponding to what? T equals to 0. In the beginning, capacitor is uncharged, so there will be maximum current, and maximum charge when capacitor is fully charged. So there will be no current in the circuit. Capacitor is fully charged. Okay, so that will be corresponding to maximum charge on capacitor. Clear? So first of all, we will try to find one more thing. This is a circular loop, and we know that we can replace this by what? A straight wire. A straight wire. We will get same motional EMF. Okay. So this circular loop can be replaced by a straight wire, and we will take an element because here magnetic field is varying from this end to this end. Okay. So let's start. You can read the question. I is given 2 ampere. Okay, here also we can solve. So I am replacing this by a straight wire. Okay, this one is replaced by this straight wire. I is given 2 ampere. V is given 3 meter per second. Yeah. Then R is given 1.4 ohm, and C naught is given 5 microfarad. Any other data? This is 1 centimeter, 4 centimeter. So first of all, motional EMF is what? V, motional EMF V cross B dot L. Yes, or you can write what? VVL, because V is in this direction and V cross B in this direction, and L. Okay, L, this one, L vector. So it is VBL, we can write, where V is motional EMF, V is a small a speed, VBL. So here B is varying, so we can't write directly, so we have to take here an element at a distance of x and length is dx, and velocity will be V in this direction. So here magnetic field will be mu naught I by 2 pi x. So motional EMF elemental dV will be what? V, B is constant, B is mu naught I by 2 pi x, and L is dx. So what will be total? Total, so V will be integration of this okay. So V is constant, small v, I is constant, so mu naught V I by 2 pi x dx by x, and x is varying from 1 to 4 centimeter. Why I am writing in centimeter? Because it is simply ratio. So mu naught V I by 2 pi, sorry, this x will be inside, pi, and this is ln x. So ln 4 minus ln 1, ln 1 is 0, so it is 2 ln 2, and ln 2 value is given 0.7. So put all these values. Mu naught is 4 pi 10 power minus 7, B is 3, I is 2 ampere, this 2, ln 2 is 0.7 by 2 pi. So value of V motional EMF is how much? You can see here, you can calculate. So it will be 16.8 into 10 power minus 7. 16.8 into 10 power minus 7 I have calculated volt. Clear? So maximum current will be what? At t equals to 0, current will be maximum and I max will be V by R. So 16.8 10 power minus 7 and R is 1.4. So if you will cancel, this will be 12. So 12 means what? 1.2 into 10 power minus 6. This is the maximum value of current. Means what? Option A is correct. Then maximum charge means at t equals to infinity, charge will be maximum Q max, and Q max will be what? CV. So capacitance is given 5 microfarad. So 5 into 10 power minus 6 into 16.8 10 power minus 7. So you can multiply this. So it will be 84 into 10 power minus 13 coulomb. But answer is given 8.4 into 10 power minus 12. So it is correct, 8.4 into 10 power minus 12 coulomb. Okay, so option C is correct. Simple question is easy, only it is a game of motional EMF, nothing else. Okay. So next. Question number 16. Yeah, it is good question, really good question. Here you have to apply logic. This is the inclined plane and this tube is accelerating on this plane with acceleration A along the plane. Okay, and this angle is what? 45 degree. Diameter is D. So we have to find beta. If beta is P1 minus P2 by rho GD, then for different condition of A, we have to verify value of beta. So beta is nothing but pressure difference divided by rho GD, means P1 minus P2. Okay, then what to do? So first of all, I will tell you, you should apply little logic. You know that if this is a container and water is there inside or any liquid, for simplicity, let us suppose water here. This is point 1, this is point 2, and you know that gravity is downward. Okay, it is on surface. So you know that P1 is greater than P2. So in the direction of G, pressure is increasing. Means we can write, if their separation is G, H, so P1 minus P2 is rho GH. In the similar fashion, if this container is accelerating with acceleration A towards right, let us suppose, and there are 2 points here, 1 and 2, and you want to find pressure difference between 1 and 2, this is L. So you know that in the direction of acceleration, pressure will be more. So pressure at 1 will be more than 2, and we can write P1 minus P2 is rho AL. So same thing, if we will find acceleration in this direction, so we can write P1 minus P2 is acceleration in this direction into density into this distance gap. Okay, so let us take a fluid element here. So there will be, with respect to this plane or this tube, there will be pseudo force on this element. So there will be acceleration due to pseudo force in this direction, and which is nothing but A, and G is acting downward. Yes or no? Okay. So in this plane, along this plane, we can take component of G. So this will be what? G cos 45 means G by root 2, G cos 45. So let us suppose in this direction net acceleration is what? G by root 2 minus A. Okay, and this is D. So what will be this length? This is D. So D by cos 45. So this length will be G by cos 45 means what? D by cos 45. So root 2 times of D. So simple, and pressure along the direction of acceleration will be more, means P1 minus P2. So we can write P1 minus P2 is what? Density rho. Acceleration is what? g by root 2 minus a, and this distance root 2 times of d. It is as simple as this one and this one. In the direction of acceleration, pressure will increase. Here P1 will be greater than P2. In the same way, we are taking direction net in this direction, this one. So in this direction, pressure will increase. P1 minus P2. Here P1 minus P2, P1 minus P2. Okay, and you have to take this length. That is the very important point. So it is root 2 times of d. So take here common, rho g I am taking as a common, and d, and take root 2 inside. So it is 1 minus root 2 times of a by g. So beta is given what? P1 minus P2 by rho g d, and which is nothing but from here 1 minus root 2 a by g. Yes or no? So for different condition of a, we have to find value of beta. So first option, beta is 0 when a is g by root 2. So when a is g by root 2, when a is g by root 2, okay, so g by root 2 will be what? A. So this will be cancelled out, so beta will be 0. So this one is correct. So if this one is correct, means what? This option will be wrong. Same, a is g by root 2. Then check value for a equals to g by 2. If a is g by 2, then find value of beta. Beta will be what? 1 minus root 2 by g and a g by 2. So this will be what? 1 minus 1 by root 2. 1 minus 1 by root 2 is nothing but this term, means it will be equal to root 2 minus 1 by root 2. So option C is also correct, means D will be wrong. So option A and C are correct. So here you have to apply logic simple case here. This one is the simplest, then you know this one horizontal case, horizontal acceleration, and same for inclined plane. You have to take acceleration along the plane, and also this distance d will be, means L will be along the plane. Okay. So next, section 4. So this is section 4, in which it is a integer type, plus 4 marks for correct one, there is no negative marking. So question 17, again this section is simple. It is also simple and scoring like first section. Okay. So let's solve question number 17. An alpha particle mass is given 4 AMU, and sulfur ion, singly charged sulfur ion, means there is alpha particle and there is a sulfur plus ion. Okay. They are accelerated through the potential V. So both are accelerated through potential V. So you know that if potential is V, kinetic energy is what? Q into V. Simple. Then along the uniform magnetic field, so radius of curvature, we know that in a uniform magnetic field mv by r is mv by qb, and their radius are r alpha and rs. Okay. Then we have to find ratio rs by r alpha. So one thing is important here. Okay, mass is what? 4 AMU, and charge is Q1 2E plus 2E. Here mass is given M2 32 AMU, and charge Q2 is what? Plus E. So see, R is mv by qb. So how to find mv? So mv, we know that K is kinetic energy is P square by 2m. Okay, kinetic energy is P square by 2m. So P will be what? And kinetic energy is QV. So P will be 2m/v and a square root. So put value here. So radius will be what? R will be a square root of 2 times of m q. V is potential by qb. So from here we can tell what? R is proportional to a square root of this root q and q. So it will be m by q. So R sulfur by R alpha particle will be what? Simple, put the value. Sulfur means m2. So m2 by m1 into q1 by q2. Yes or no? So m2 is 32, m1 is 4, q1 is 2e and e. So this is 16. So a square root of 16 is what? 4. So R S by R alpha is simply 4. Such a simple question. So this answer is 4. Clear? Yes or no? Next. Yeah. This question is based on what? You have to find angular momentum. Here this is a rod having mass m and disk also having mass m. But location of disk is what? It is center of disk is at a 3a by 4 from this point to O. This rod is rotating with omega and this disk is rotating about its center of mass with 4 omega, and it is given in the question both are rotating, omega and 4 omega is with respect to ground. So you don't have to bother about relative concept here, it is given here. Stationary, outside stationary observer. So omega and 4 omega is with respect to what? Ground. Then we have to find total angular momentum about O. Angular momentum about O. So we know that, okay. Next page we can, total angular momentum will be what? Angular momentum of rod plus angular momentum of disk. Yes or no? And of course both must be, if you want to add you have to sense the direction. If same direction then it will be added, otherwise you have to subtract, okay, if in opposite direction. So angular momentum of rod will be what? It is I omega. I for rod is mla square by 3 means ma square by 3 and omega in this form it is given. And angular momentum of disk is what? So angular momentum of disk will be angular momentum of disk with respect to center of mass. Yes or no? With respect to combined translation plus rotation. Disk is also rotating about its an axis, and since rod is rotating, so there is a translation of disk. So both we have to take consideration. So L disk about center of mass plus angular momentum of center of mass. Yes or no? COM, center of mass, means what? So both will be in same direction. So here angular momentum of disk will be what? About center of mass plus angular momentum of center of mass. So this is what? I into omega plus this is m r cross v. This is angular momentum of center of mass. So how to find? Okay, back here. So what is the angular momentum of mrv? So here v you can find, v is r omega. So this distance is what? A minus a by 4. So 3a by 4 and omega is this one. Okay, rod is rotating with this omega and disk is 4 omega. And what is angular momentum of disk with respect to center of mass? This is I omega. So this one will be I disk will be what? I am writing here D for disk and C for center of mass. So it will be I and omega. Omega is 4 omega. This is 4, this one. So let's write here. So I is mr square by 2 for disk. So m, r is what? Radius is a by 4, I think. A by 4. So m r square by 2 and omega is what, for this one. Then direction is same, so we are directly adding here. Here we will take magnitude of this one. So m, r is what, 3a by 4 and v is 3a by 4 omega. So add it. So L disk will be what? So 1 4 will be cancelled out, ma square. Okay, take ma square as a common, ma square omega as a common. So this is 16, 4, 1 by 8 plus what is this, 9 by 16. So 11 by 16 is the angular momentum of disk. 11 by 16 ma square omega. And this one is ma square by 3 omega. So total angular momentum will be what? L total will be this one plus this one, ma square, okay, ma square omega 1 by 3, okay, plus 11 by 16. So this is 48 and this is 16 plus 33, 49. So this answer is what? 49 by 48 ma square omega. Okay, so back to question. So it is given ma square omega by 48. So value of n will be what? N will be 49. N will be 49. N is 49. Okay. So question was little tricky. You have to use proper concept here. This is the last problem of this paper 1, and again numerical type. It is integer type. It is given a small object is placed at a center of a large evacuated hollow sphere, and container is maintained at 0 Kelvin and at time t equals to 0. Object is at 200 Kelvin and t equals to T1, it is at 100 Kelvin, and t equals to T2, it is at 50 Kelvin. So we have to find T2 by T1. So what will be value of T2 by T1? Simple. See, this is evacuated hollow space is there, there is an object, okay. This is at 0 Kelvin initially, means surrounding temperature. This is nothing but surrounding temperature, and here temperature of this one is varying. At t equals to 0, it is at 200 Kelvin, and at T1 it is at 100 Kelvin, and T2 it is at 50 Kelvin. You can verify here, and it is ideal body, black body, okay. Ideal black body is given 50, 100 and 200, okay. So we have to find T2 by T1. So what to do? So this object is losing heat, okay. dq by dt is what? Power is what? Sigma a t power 4, okay. So we can write here dq by dt, rate of heat loss is what? Sigma e a t power 4 minus ts power 4. T is body temperature, Ts is surrounding, and this is given 0 Kelvin, and E is 1, so it is simply sigma A T power 4, and dq is what? ms dt, and since temperature is decreasing, so minus ms dt. So we can write here minus ms dt by dt is nothing but sigma A T power 4. Okay. So from here we can write all these are constant, sigma A ms, so dt by T power 4 is some constant k minus k dt. Yes or no? Why minus sign? Because dt is negative. It is cooling. Simply rate of cooling dt by dt. Okay, so integrate this. Initially it was at 200 Kelvin. and finally at temperature T, 0 to T. So this will be what? T power minus 4 plus 1 minus 3, and in denominator minus 4 plus 3 minus 3. So this is what? Minus 1 by 3 T power 3 200 to T, which is nothing but minus K T, and minus minus will be cancelled out, and this 3 and K another constant. So I am writing directly here 1 by T cube minus 1 by 200 cube is any another constant K dash T. So this is our equation. Okay, put the values. So 1 by T at T1 is 100 Kelvin. So 100 cube minus 1 by 200 cube is what? K dash T1. K dash T1. Equation second. Then for this condition, 1 by 50 cube minus 1 by 200 cube is K dash any constant T2. So equation third. Okay, we have to find T2 by T1. So divide 3 by 2. So it will be T2 by T1 equals to what? Just multiply here in all sides by 100 cube. 100 cube. So if you will multiply here by 100 cube, this will be 4. No, 100 by 2 means 2 cube. So this will be what? If you will multiply this by 100 cube, so this is 100 by 52 and 2 power 3 minus this one will be 1 by 2 cube. Here also, so this is 1 minus 2 cube. No, 1 by 2 cube. One minus 1 by 2 cube. Okay, so this is 64 minus 163, and this is what? 8 minus 1 7. So T2 by T1 is nothing but 63 by 7 is 9. So our answer is 9. Okay. So T2 by T1 is nothing but 9. Clear? This was the last question. Yeah. So thanks for watching. Here we are ending our session. And if you are a serious student for 2022 or 2023, you should analyze your hard work with all this previous year question. Means if you are attempting in 2022, you should solve entire paper, and then you should find out your what is your outcome, and then you can improve from your side. So I am ending here session. Thank you for watching.